He was known as the unluckiest man in the world because the moment he got off the plane, he received devastating news. His country had just been destroyed. The international community no longer recognized its existence. That meant his visa was invalid, his currency was worthless, and his return flight was cancelled. But the worst part? He didn't speak a word of English, so he had no idea what was going on. The airport supervisor tried to explain the situation with a bag of potato chips.
So the potato chips are Krakosia. No more Krakosia.
Turns out, a coup had taken place in Victor's home country just the night before, until the new government was officially recognized. He technically didn't belong anywhere, and just like that, Victor was trapped inside the airport. He couldn't go home, and he wasn't allowed to enter the United States either. With no money, no legal status, and nowhere to go, he slept on chairs pushed together to make a bed, ate free snacks from airport counters, and even found a place to shower. Then one day, the airport supervisor Frank saw something strange on security footage. Victor was walking through the terminal in a bathrobe. Frank was furious. He was in the middle of applying for a major promotion, and the last thing he needed was a homeless man in a bathrobe ruining the airport's image. So he offered Victor a way out. At noon today, Frank said, "The security guards switch shifts for 5 minutes. No one will be at the main door. That's your chance to walk out." What he didn't say was that if Victor stepped outside, he'd be arrested for illegal entry, and Frank could wash his hands of the problem. Victor didn't fully understand, but he got the idea. At noon, Frank watched from the surveillance room. The guards left. Everything was in place, but Victor didn't move. He stood frozen at the exit. Then Frank noticed Victor was looking straight at the security camera, so Frank turned it away. Too late. Victor had already ducked out of frame, and when Frank tried to turn the camera back to check, Victor popped his face right into the lens.
I wait.
Clearly, this plan wasn't going to work, but free snacks alone weren't enough to keep him going. He was starving. Then he noticed a woman return a luggage cart and get a quarter back in return. That's when Victor saw his opportunity. Most travelers didn't care about the 25-cent deposit, so they just left the carts behind. He gathered 3, returned them, and earned his first 75 cents. That bought him his first real meal in days, a hamburger. Soon, he was returning dozens of carts, upgrading from burgers to full combo meals. But Frank had been watching, and he wasn't going to let Victor turn his airport into a side hustle. So he assigned security staff to collect all the carts. Victor's cart retrieving business was over. Back to free snacks. Still, he didn't give up. He bought a dictionary and some books, and studied English every night with a headlamp. Day by day, word by word, he learned enough to start real conversations. When he felt ready, he went to Officer Dolores to apply for entry. She couldn't understand why he was bothering, but Victor smiled and said,
You have 2 stamps. One red, one green. So, I have chance go New York 50-50.
What he meant was, as long as he kept trying, he had a shot. Frank, meanwhile, was still keeping tabs on him. He figured Victor would eventually get desperate and do something illegal. Then he'd finally have a reason to get rid of him. But that night, something unexpected happened. A food delivery guy named Enrique brought Victor dinner. Why? Because Enrique had a crush on Officer Dolores, but was